from the Lakeside Newsroom of the Henrico Citizen, your hometown news source since 2001. This is the Henrico News Minute with publisher Tom Lapis.
150 more people are in quarantine as a result of COVID cases in Henrico schools, and Henrico supervisors allocate funds to local nonprofits. We'll have details about those stories and more in today's Henrico News Minute. It's Monday, March 22nd, 2021, and it's brought to you today by Henrico County.
And now for the news.
Well, 17 new cases of COVID-19 were reported in Henrico County's public schools on Friday, prompting 150 people to enter quarantine. That's according to data provided by the school system. In total, since schools began reopening on a staggered basis February 22nd for in-person learning, there have been 55 COVID cases reported at 31 schools during in-school extracurricular or sports activities. That's forced 548 people into quarantine. The new cases, none of which were related to extracurricular or sports activities, included 2 at Tuckahoe Middle School that led to 40 people quarantining, 1 at Tucker High School that led to 24 doing so, and 1 at Brooklyn Middle and another at Pinchbeck Elementary, each of which led to 18 people quarantining. So far, since the in-person learning began, Tucker High School has fared the worst, with 4 cases causing 87 people to quarantine. Highland Springs High has had 2 extracurricular cases resulting in 68 people quarantining. Today on HenricoCitizen.com, we've got a neat story about a Henrico woman whose love of chalk drawings began as an activity with her daughter, but during quarantine, she has come up with ways to keep the family and even others in Henrico County entertained and delighted with some of her drawings. It began last year when she drew a monarch butterfly in chalk at Short Pump Park near the Pollinator Garden, which is home to a number of butterflies, caterpillars, and others. And it has since continued with dozens of drawings at parks throughout Henrico and the region. She's also left her work at elementary schools, shopping centers, and open sidewalks that she comes across. Her drawings range from the lighthearted, such as images of Minnie Mouse, who was her grandmother's favorite Disney character, to the thoughtful, such as a portrait of Breonna Taylor, a black woman who was fatally shot in her apartment last March by Louisville, Kentucky police officers. You can learn much more on HenricoCitizen.com by clicking on Community. On Thursday, Henrico's Board of Supervisors added new funding for 9 local nonprofit organizations and adjusted funding for 1 other as part of its fiscal year 2021-22 budget proposal. Supervisors made the changes during the final day of their 4-day budget review, during which they heard from each county agency head and discussed other topics as well. They had first discussed the planned allocation for nonprofits as part of Monday's discussion. Now, in total, the revised proposal will allocate about $1.54 million to 39 nonprofits. A total of $10,400 in available funds remain in the non-departmental budget proposal should supervisors decide to allocate that money. 19 groups that requested money would not receive any as part of the new plan, though in one of those cases the organization willingly deferred its requested amount to another group, that was the YWCA, which suggested that its funding be redirected to Safe Harbor Shelter, which it was. Now, the changes made by supervisors Thursday included the addition of organizations for whom no funding originally was included. That list includes Maymont, which will now receive $50,000, the Virginia Capitol Trail Foundation, which will get $25,000, Sportable, which will get $20,000, as will the Association for the Preservation of Henrico Antiquities. Sports backers will receive $20,000 as well, and so will Culture Works. The Metropolitan Youth Baseball League will get $15,000. Liberation Veteran Services will get $10,000, and the Asian American Society of Virginia will get $5,000. You can read more about these potential allocations right now at HenricoCitizen.com by clicking on News and then Government. New York Times bestselling author Robin Sloan will discuss his novel Sourdough at the first virtual All Henrico Reads event that takes place 7 p.m. on Thursday, April 1st. The event is held each spring. It promotes literacy and community by featuring the work of a prominent author. It is free. It's presented by the Henrico County Public Library, Henrico Public Schools, and Friends of the Henrico County Public Library. To participate this year or for details, you can visit henricolibrary.org/HAR. Sloan will discuss his work and answer questions that are submitted in advance. You can forward them to the county's library by Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Sourdough follows Lois, a computer programmer who's thrust into a foodie culture after being gifted a sourdough starter. If you or someone you know are elderly, disabled, or have limited English speaking skills and generally make less than $57,000 a year, the University of Richmond is providing free tax preparation for the 10th consecutive year in a partnership with the United Way of Greater Richmond. More than 30 UR students have joined other community volunteers to receive training to become IRS certified so they can help prepare tax returns for those in the community who fit those criteria and who need assistance. If you'd like to learn more, you can visit downtown.richmond.edu/initiatives/vita.html. Henrico's court-appointed special advocates, or CASA, welcomed 6 new volunteers on March 10th. They'll advocate for children who are before the court because of allegations of abuse or neglect. The new volunteers are Jennifer Anthony, Valerie Coley, Shanna Crawford, Tyler Holder, Robert Oster, and Donna Silver. They each underwent 38 hours of training during the last month or so. Volunteers in the organization listen, observe, and gather, organize, and share relevant information with the courts on whose decisions the children's futures depend. Last year, there were 113 volunteer advocates for 401 children in the Henrico Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court. The next CASA training begins April 17th. If you're interested, call 501-1673 or complete an application at henricocasa.org. High school students who live in Virginia's 7th Congressional District may now submit a piece of artwork for consideration in the annual Congressional Art Competition. It's being sponsored by U.S. Representative Abigail Spanberger, who represents the district. The winner's piece will be displayed in the U.S. Capitol for 1 year alongside student-submitted artwork from all 50 states. Entries may include paintings, drawings, collages, prints, mixed media, computer-generated art, and photography. Submissions are due by 4 p.m. April 30th. To learn more, you can visit spanberger.house.gov/art-competition.htm. Today's Henrico News Minute has been brought to you by Henrico County's COVID-19 Emergency Rental Assistance, providing assistance for those who've experienced economic impact related to the virus, such as job loss or furlough. Applications are available at henrico.us/DSS or by calling 501-5294.